Meet John. John is 52, earns $94,000 a year, and drives a 10-year-old Camry with a cracked cup holder he has never bothered to fix. He has never once talked about money at a dinner party. Nobody at his office would guess he has $840,000 sitting quietly in his accounts. Now meet Diana. Diana is 34, earns $112,000 a year, almost $20,000 more than John. She drives a leased SUV, dresses sharper, and everyone at her company assumes she's the one who has it figured out. Diana has $4,000 to her name. Here's the part that should bother you. Diana out-earns John every single year. She is not careless, she is not lazy. She has downloaded budgeting apps, made spreadsheets, tried to do this the responsible way, and she is still losing. The difference between them was never income. It was never a lucky stock pick or some secret side hustle. The difference is 7 specific moves, and most of them take less than 60 seconds to make. The wealthy are not doing more work than everyone else. They are doing less, on purpose, in the right order. And this isn't just John and Diana's story. Across the country, the pattern repeats at every income level you can name. People earning $200,000 a year running on empty. People earning $50,000 a year quietly building real wealth. Income explains almost none of it. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly which of these 7 moves you're already missing. Here's what nobody tells you about most financial advice. It assumes you're the problem. Spend less. Save more. Stop buying coffee. That advice puts the entire weight of your future on the one tool that reliably fails everyone eventually: willpower. 68% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and that number includes plenty of people earning 6 figures. 44% of workers earning over $100,000 say they have little or nothing left by the end of the month. Read that again. Nearly half of 6-figure earners are running on empty. This was never a poverty story. It's a routing story. The money comes in fine, it's just never told where to go before it disappears. It was not the income that failed Diana. It was the order her money moved in. Every month, Diana's paycheck lands and feels like permission. Permission to breathe, to spend, to enjoy what she worked for. She mentally files the bills she knows are coming, spends from the top of the account all month, and tells herself whatever survives until next payday is what she'll save. Some months that's $300. Some months it's nothing. Some months it's less than nothing. John's paycheck lands, and by the time he's even looked at his phone, money has already moved. A fixed amount left for retirement. A fixed amount left for investments. A fixed amount left for an account he never touches. By the time John checks his balance, the money he's allowed to spend is already the only money there. He is not more disciplined than Diana. He just made discipline unnecessary. That's the whole gap, in one sentence. Diana saves what's left after she spends. John spends what's left after he saves. 2 sentences that sound almost identical. They produce 2 completely different lives. Here's why that 1-sentence difference compounds into something so large. A small amount moved automatically every single payday for years beats a large amount saved occasionally, almost every time, because compounding rewards consistency far more than it rewards size. Diana has had months where she saved more than John. She's never had a decade where she saved more consistently, and consistency is the only variable compounding actually cares about. So here are the 7 moves. The actual order money has to move in for the gap to close. Not motivation, mechanics. Move 1. Pay yourself before you ever see the money. This is the one move that makes the other 6 almost automatic. You schedule a transfer. Retirement, savings, investing, doesn't matter which. For the same day your paycheck lands. Not the end of the month. The same day. Willpower is not a saving strategy. It's a tax you pay every day, and it runs out. Every time Diana opens her banking app and sees money sitting there, she has to say no to herself. Again at lunch, again at checkout, again when the sale email lands. Most people lose that fight not because they're weak, because the fight never ends. John removed the fight. You cannot spend money you never saw. Notice what this move doesn't require. It doesn't require a bigger paycheck. It doesn't require a new budgeting app or a spreadsheet you'll maintain for 2 weeks and abandon. It requires one setting, changed once, in an evening. Everything else on this list gets easier once this one is in place, because every move after it stops depending on you remembering to do something and starts depending on a system that runs whether you remember or not. Move 2. Grab the free money before anything else. If your job offers a retirement match, your employer is handing you a raise you have to reach out and take. A dollar-for-dollar match is an instant 100% return before that money is ever invested in anything. There is nowhere else on earth that hands you that, and yet roughly 1 in 4 workers fail to capture the full match. The typical worker who misses it leaves around $1,336 on the table a year. Over 20 years with growth, that's close to $43,000, quietly walked past every single payday. Meet Carla, John's coworker. 3 years ago, Carla contributed $0 to her retirement account, even though her employer matched dollar for dollar up to 5% of her pay. That was over $3,000 a year in free money she was leaving on the table. The day she copied John's setup, her effective savings rate didn't go to 5%. It went to 10% because her employer matched every cent. She didn't find extra income. She just stopped declining money that was already hers. Here's the order that feels wrong until you actually run the math. Most people think high-interest debt should always come before saving anything, but a dollar-for-dollar match is an instant 100% return, and even a 50-cent match is an instant 50% return. Both of those beat almost any interest rate you'll ever carry, including a credit card. So the order is precise. Capture the match first, and only then turn everything else toward the debt. Get the free money before you fight the fire. Move 3. Kill the fee you don't know you're paying. Buried in Diana's old 401k is a 1.2% advisory fee she agreed to years ago and has never once looked at again. On a large enough balance, that single number quietly costs tens of thousands of dollars over a decade. Money that funds an advisor's lifestyle instead of hers. It was not the market that ate Diana's growth. It was a percentage she never bothered to read. This move takes one afternoon. Open every statement, write down every fee, and ask one blunt question. What is my total all-in cost in dollars per year? If nobody can answer that in plain dollars, that silence is your answer to walk away. A fee doesn't announce itself. It doesn't show up as a single line labeled, "The reason you're falling behind." It just quietly shows up every year, whether the market goes up or down, taken by someone who gets paid the same amount either way. Fees are the termites of a portfolio, invisible, slow, and only obvious once you finally go looking for them. Move 4. Freeze your lifestyle exactly where it is when a raise lands. Here's the trap that scales with income, and it's exactly what happened to Diana. A raise feels like freedom, so spending quietly rises to match it. A nicer apartment, a newer lease, a few subscriptions that never get canceled. Within months, the raise is gone, fully absorbed, and you feel exactly as stretched as before. Raise your monthly spending by just $2,000, and you've redirected $24,000 a year that could have compounded instead. That is not a typo. Every time John got a raise, he sent most of it straight into his automatic transfers before his lifestyle ever noticed it existed. A raise is not money. A raise is a fork in the road. This is the trap that hits high earners just as hard as anyone else, sometimes harder. A person earning $150,000 can feel exactly as stretched as a person earning $50,000, just with a nicer car payment attached to the panic. The paycheck grew. The feeling of having enough never did. That gap between the two is lifestyle creep working exactly as intended. Move 5. Keep an emergency cushion that's exactly the right size. Not too big, not too small. Now meet Maya, 28, a nurse who's careful with money in a different, quieter way. Maya keeps $600,000, most of what she has, sitting in a high-yield savings account, earning 4%. It feels responsible. It's actually one of the most expensive habits she owns, because inflation is eating roughly 3% of that every year, which means her real return is barely 1%. while money invested properly compounds closer to 7. Too little cash forces you to sell investments at the worst possible moment. Too much cash guarantees a slow, invisible loss to inflation nobody ever notices happening. The number you actually want is boring and specific. 3 to 6 months of expenses, no more, then the rest goes to work. Maya isn't reckless in the other direction. She's frightened, and that fear has a history behind it. She watched people close to her lose money in a downturn once, and she decided cash was the one thing that could never betray her. It can't crash. It also can't grow, and in a world where prices climb every year, money that never grows is quietly shrinking the whole time it feels safest. Move 6. Automate the rebalancing, not just the saving. John never decides whether to invest. The money moves before he can feel tempted, and once a year, his portfolio quietly rebalances itself back to plan, without him lifting a finger. The goal isn't a clever portfolio. It's a system that keeps working on your worst, most distracted, most emotional day, because eventually, you will have one. Rebalancing sounds technical, but the idea underneath it is simple. Over a year, some investments grow faster than others, and your mix quietly drifts away from the plan you originally set. Rebalancing just nudges it back once a year, selling a little of what grew fastest and buying a little of what lagged. It's boring by design. Boring is exactly what you want from the part of your finances you're not supposed to be thinking about every day. Move 7. Protect the downside before you chase any upside. This is the move almost nobody makes, and it costs about one afternoon. No will, no updated beneficiaries, no plan if something happens tomorrow. If that describes you, your money could sit frozen in probate for a year while your family waits. A basic will and updated beneficiaries can move money to the people you love in weeks instead. An umbrella insurance policy, often $1 million of coverage, runs around $200 a year and protects everything you've built from a single bad accident. Most people insure a $30,000 car and leave a much larger net worth completely exposed. None of this is about expecting the worst. It's about the fact that protecting what you've already built matters just as much as growing it. 6 of these moves are about building the number. This last one is about making sure the number actually reaches the people you built it for, no matter what happens to you along the way. Here's the sentence worth remembering from all 7 of these. None of them feel dramatic in the moment. That's exactly why they work, and it's exactly why the opposite mistakes, the fee, the lifestyle creep, the missed match, never feel like mistakes either. They just feel reasonable. Every dangerous decision at this level feels comfortable, even responsible, right up until you add up what it actually cost. Before we go further, I want you to actually think about this for a second, not just nod along. Of the 7 moves, automate first, capture the match, kill the fee, freeze the raise, right-size the cash, automate the rebalance, protect the downside, which one are you currently skipping? Most people, if they're honest, know the answer immediately. It's rarely a mystery. It's just uncomfortable to look at directly. There's a psychological reason all 7 of these are hard, even though none of them are complicated. The moment money starts to add up, your brain starts treating the number as an identity instead of an account balance. You check it more. You compare it to other people's houses and other people's vacations. Comparison at this level pushes people into risks they never needed to take. Diana didn't lose her money to a crash or a scam. She lost it to 100 reasonable decisions that never got automated out of her control. The market doesn't punish patience. It quietly rewards it, every single year, while punishing whoever keeps checking, comparing, and reacting. Carla learned to check her accounts once a month, on the same day, and close the app immediately after. John doesn't even remember the last time he logged in outside of that. Neither of them is unusually disciplined. They just stopped giving themselves as many chances to interfere with a plan that was already working. So go back to John and Diana for a second. Same country, same rising prices. Diana earned more than John for 15 straight years, over $100,000 more, in total, across her career, and she has $4,000 to show for it. John, earning less the entire way, has $840,000. That's not a small gap. That's 2 completely different retirements, built from nearly the same raw materials. Diana didn't lose that money in a crash. Nobody stole it. It leaked out quietly, one reasonable decision at a time, through an account that was never told where to send it first. Here's the one line worth remembering. You don't have a spending problem. You have an order problem. And an order problem has a one-evening fix. None of these 7 moves require you to earn more, want less, or become a different kind of person. They just require your money to be told where to go before the world gets a vote. That's the whole secret hiding behind every quietly wealthy person you've ever wondered about. Not a bigger income, not a smarter pick, just a system that doesn't ask them to be strong every single day. Tonight, pick the one move from this list you're currently skipping. Not all 7. 1. Open your bank app. Set the transfer. Check the match. Read the fee. Whichever one it is, that single move is worth more than another year of trying to out-willpower your own paycheck. If this showed you something you didn't realize was happening with your money, subscribe to Robin Wealth and hit the bell. We break down the hidden math behind the financial decisions you face every single day. Not hustle culture, not shame, just the mechanics that actually separate the people who build wealth quietly from the people who are still waiting to feel ready. Make the decision that matches your reality, not someone else's sales pitch.